Hello and welcome back to our channel. I'm Tony Robinson, a technical sales engineer at Motion Control Products. Today we are going to walk you through the DToolsPro and how to set it up and all of the key features of this configuration software. Some key features of the DToolsPro are multi-station, multi-screen interlocking, which controls multiple HMIs from one interface. This is perfect for large automation lines. You can monitor in real time. Monitor and control your system from a PC, a tablet, or a phone via DTP View. It also has IoT integration with Wi-Fi-enabled HMIs from cloud connectivity, data storage, and seamless communication. You can batch edit properties, monitor I/O in real time, and customize interfaces without coding. It has enhanced safety and control with lock screen, restricting access, and preventing conflicting inputs for shared workstations. It supports hundreds of PLC protocols and enables fast development of custom systems with robust APIs. Lastly, it has smart visual tools. You can easily create dynamic screens with built-in libraries for graphics, alarms, and data logging. So let's spend some time looking at the DToolsPro software. To begin with, I'm just going to run through the actual software tool itself and the environment, just so that you can get a feel of what it looks like. So let's start that off. So if I open my DToolsPro environment, so when you first open it, you get this screen here, and you can open a file, a new file if you so desire. Here along the top, you've got your different environments that you can run in, different styles of project templates that you potentially want to use. And on the right here, you can see some case projects. Now, these are example projects that you can download instantaneously and have a look at yourself. Now, there's really worth having a look at these. There's some really good content in here. Alarms, security, all sorts of different setups. So you can quickly learn how to actually set the product up yourself. If you've got one of these screens, or even if you haven't got one of these screens, you just want to run it in simulation mode, have a look at these. These are really good. I would recommend that you save them as a file when you actually open it, so that you can access it again. So I've already got one basically set up, which I'll open now, and here is the environment we're going to run in. And you can see I've got a little picture on the screen here already, okay, and that just mimicked on my HMI over on the left there. So this is the DToolsPro environment, and you can see on the left here we've got a tree. This tree has all the elements in of the system itself, from the product all the way down through to template libraries, image libraries, and so on and so forth. So this is where we're going to control the software that we're going to create from. Okay. In the middle, we have our actual screens that we're going to create. Okay. On the right, we have our outline of our project and some of the windows that we've got available to us to select from. So this is the screen we're on here in the top right, and this is the screens we can select from at the present moment. And you can see there's some predefined screens like permission screens and user passwords and different keyboards here that we can select, and system windows that allow us to, for instance, log in. And we have a screensaver as well if we want to have a screensaver set. Along the top, we've got our file, which saves the file, obviously. New file, save project, so on and so forth. Standard stuff here that we can create. And we've got our common window here. The common window displays all the basic settings, cut and paste, so on and so forth. Our view window, which shows the basic windows of our project and what access we can access within the project. logs for instance, and so on and so forth. Our GE window, here our GE window's basically got all of the elements that we can manipulate in order to create our screens. So we've got our alphanumeric here, text, images here, okay, so we can lines, scaling things, fluid, tables, sliders, those type of things. We can select different types of inputs, okay, so a bit set, word set, browse files, database action set, condition set. So there's loads of information we can hear. We want to create lamps, we've got lamps here, so bit lamps. We want switches, we've got switches here. So bit switch, word switch, and a list. It's like a drop-down menu. We've got a data display. So if we want to display, for instance, speed or number of parts made, we can select from a number display, a number input, a character display, or a character input. And by selecting some of these, we may use some of the tools down here in the far right from our keyboards. So for instance, a number input would select a keyboard. But we'll look at that at a later date. We've got our alarms here, our alarm browsing. So we can basically set alarm bars, current alarm, alarm history, alarm statics. So when we're actually running the project, we can define the alarms that we want to access, and the alarm browsing will allow us to display those at a given time. We've got curves, so we can display, for instance, pressure, if we wanted to, if we had a pressure input, for instance. We've got charts, animation, historic data, communications, recipes, events, I/O, user access, and database tables. We've also got windows, videos, time, QR codes, and web browsing. So all those things can be set up within the system to allow us to access different varying functions of the system. We've got our project files. Okay, so we can create macros, for instance, certain functions that we want to repeat over and over again when a button is pressed. We can define the languages that we want to access here, okay, within the system. We can define our alarm information, our predefined actual alarm objects. Our data sampling, for instance, if we're data sampling, we're maybe sampling flow of liquid through a pipe at a given time, we can sample it here. User settings, who has access to what. We can schedule things, so we can schedule at a given time of day we want to transmit to the cloud, or we want to switch an output on at a given time, maybe 2 o'clock in the morning or something like that, when a certain function has to take place. Our global controls allow us to look at things like, not necessarily related to a particular screen, but we want something to take place whenever this function is created. So for instance, when an input is fired, we want that to go to a certain screen. That's a global control. We've got our template library, OpenHMI. Our IoT functions, at the present moment we've got MQTT and FTP only, but they are fully functional. We've got tools, so basically upload and downloading from our PC to our PLC, sorry, to our HMI. System setup, so we can basically see how the system is synced into the drive. Pass-through. Pass-through is when you wish to have multiple maybe multiple screens or multiple devices, and you're actually passing information through the HMI to another device. Operator logs. Within settings, you've got operator logs where you can log data based on time, input, whatever you want to learn. Our language we're actually using currently, you can select from the languages available, and you can program in that language if you so desire. Security, again, your admin screens and your users. And then you've got help. So within help, you've got the version information here. Okay, that tells you what version of HMI firmware you're currently running. That's quite important because they're always adding to the firmware on these devices. So it's always good to be up to date with the latest version of the firmware. You'll find that they're not degradable. So you've got to run with the latest version of firmware if you want the latest functionality. You've got help documents. There are no onboard help documents, okay? So you need to use the PDF for that, okay? So here is the full PDF here, and that gives you access to all the information on HMI and how to set it up, how to create any of the screens or any of the functions that it is capable of, and any new functions that they may have created since the last firmware upgrade. So here we can see the latest firmware information. So there are basic screens, and whenever we want to create a screen, what we tend to do is we use the information on the left-hand side of here for our system. Okay. Now here's the screen I'm running here. Okay, and I can basically control the size of the screen that I'm viewing with the slider down the side here. We've got our template library here and our project tree here. So I can switch between windows and they will appear. I can open communications windows and see what's there. Now all of these can be manipulated. Okay, so this is the way the screen looks now, but I can go in here and change the feel of that screen. Okay, the way it looks, the way it communicates, and that allows me to produce my own templates and so on and so forth. So I hope that gives you a good overview of the HMI software tool, okay, DToolsPro. This is only a brief introduction. What I will do is, as we move forward, I will start to look at each individual aspect of the system and how to create the screens that we're going to use. So this is just to get you a feel. I would suggest if you have the software tool, then it is always worth going in and looking at it. What you can do with this software tool is up the top here, you have the download. It takes a few seconds to load. But you can see, if you have a HMI, you can scan for it and find your HMI. You can also see the version of information, the system settings, pass-through communications, and upload if you so desire. But also here, you've got an offline function. Now this offline function means you can download this software from the Kinko website, and you can run offline yourself. So you can basically click on there and run the software on your PC as it stands, and it automatically loads, and you can test it out, which is always a useful feature to have. It means you can program the whole thing offline and enables you to play with it even if you haven't got a HMI available. Well, I hope you found that beneficial, and as I say, there will be more information coming shortly on how to do the basic individual items within the software itself. Well, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please write them in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more videos. Thank you.